Well, hello, Bethesda Church family. Thanks for tuning in to today's first word. Again, our desire is to give you a little bit of a taste on what's coming up for the weekend. Maybe you're going to be traveling, you're out of town, or maybe you're going to be here. We want to let you know what you can anticipate for church this Sunday. We're in our series called, What Does Jesus See When He Looks at Me? And we're looking at Luke chapter 13, beginning in verses 10 through 17. Luke chapter 13, verses 10 through 17. It's an encounter that Jesus has teaching in the synagogue, and he comes across a woman who has, in different translations actually use this word, a disability of 18 years. She's suffered for this. Her back is overturned, and she can't straighten it. Dr. Luke, who writes, obviously, the book of Luke, uses medical terms. And Jesus is moved with mercy. He's moved with mercy, and we know that God's mercy leads towards kindness. This doesn't go real well with the president of the synagogue. He makes a point, and his zealousness is he calls out Jesus for healing on the Sabbath. Now, in different parts of the Gospels, we see the fact that Jesus is the Lord of the Sabbath, but in this particular passage of Scripture that we'll unpack and we'll interact with on Sunday, we find out the meaning of Sabbath. Did you catch the difference? The Lord of the Sabbath and the meaning of the Sabbath. I'll pick up our account with this, with the indignation beginning in verse 14. Because Jesus had healed on the Sabbath, the synagogue ruler or president said to the people, "There are 6 days for work, so come and be healed on those days, not on the Sabbath." I mean, if Jesus would have just waited one day for healing this lady, everyone would have been happy. But he chose not to do that. How come? Well, Jesus uses what's called a lesser to greater argument, meaning he puts a contrast. Okay, this woman's been bound by Satan, and now she's set free. He calls out the fact that they treat their animals better than this woman is being treated. But the whole passage of Scripture turns on a phrase that Jesus uses in verse 16. Did you catch it? It says this, Then should not this woman, a daughter of Abraham, whom Satan has bound for 18 long years, be set free on the Sabbath day from what bound her? Jesus calls her a daughter of Abraham. This kind of language was actually used by Jesus' mom in Luke chapter 1, verse 53, where Mary, the Virgin Mary, says, "Lord, you've remembered your servant, and you've remembered Israel and Abraham's descendants." And here later, 30 plus years later, Jesus calls this woman who's been bent over and known by her disabilities, he calls her a daughter of Abraham. You've heard me say again and again, our identity matters. And in this particular passage of Scripture, we see not only a healing and not only correction of teaching, but we see the Son of God declare this woman a daughter of Abraham. And that changes the narrative in her life. That changes our narrative as well, too. So, Aaron, you picked out a great song that goes with this called No Longer Slaves. And what's the verse that we're going to sing?
Well, verse 2 says, "From my mother's womb you have chosen me. Love is called my name, and I've been born again into a family. Your blood flows through my veins." I just think we're changed when we're called.
Yeah.
And Jesus calls us by saying we belong into that family.
And in this particular passage of Scripture, you'll hear Jesus say, "Let this woman be loosed." And he's making a reference to you loose your cattle and your oxen. Shouldn't she be loosed from this infirmity? So we'll give you a little taste of the song.
From my mother's womb, you have chosen me. Love has called my name, and I've been born again into a family. Oh, your blood flows through my veins. And I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God.
It's not hard to imagine that this daughter of Abraham would sing that song. I mean, that's not a stretch at all. And anyways, we can't wait to share this message and this song and our worship service with you this weekend. God bless you. Thanks for watching First Word on Wednesday.
See you later.